We're back with another World Cup recap. This time, match day 5. We're going to go through all the Serie A players in match day 5, and including that big matchup with Portugal and Ghana. And then there's a new team, Serie A. We thought Team Poland was Serie A, but found another team that has even more Serie A players, 11 Serie A players, if I'm not mistaken. We'll get to them at the end, but let's kick things off. All right, first we're going to start off at Switzerland versus Cameroon. Switzerland won 1-0 thanks to a goal by Brielle Mbolo. Looking at first the Swiss team, they did have two Serie A players on the team. One didn't play, Abasher. Abasher did not play. He, of course, plays for Bologna. But who did play was Ricardo Rodriguez from Torino. Yes, the left back, the wily vet, is still very capable of providing for his team, and he played 89 minutes in this one. Passing wise, not too bad. 82% successful, 66 touches in the game, so you got a little bit about the ball. 67% passing, 67% long ball success rate, but he had a whopping 0% on his crosses and tackles 1, so it wasn't very effective in that regards. He's more known for his offensive ability in terms of crosses, but in this game, not so accurate in this one. Defensively, he did have 1 clearance and 8 recoveries, so in that regard, he's good. He was also about 50% winning of ground and aerial duels, as well as 4 fouls committed. So overall, a decent game for him, actually, for Ricardo Rodriguez, despite the 0% crossing. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Now swing it over to Cameroon. They got a few more players. First, we're going to start in goal with the Inter goalkeeper Onana. He had himself a pretty good game in this one. Of course, he played the entire game. Had 2 noteworthy saves to mention. Passing accuracy was pretty decent, right? 74% passing accuracy is not too bad. However, on the flip side, the long balls, the long clearances, looking for teammates, only 26% in that regard. So not that good in the long game, but the short game is much, much better. He had 61 touches in the game, and even for a couple times he was playing as a center back. He pushed up way up, and then actually the center back would drop behind him. He's pretty good with his feet, and it showed in this game. So maybe Inter will deploy this in the future. I don't know, but he's obviously very good with his feet, and so Cameroon were using that to their benefit. So overall, despite his offensive attempts playing as a center back, and passing and making some good saves in the game overall, keeping his team in it. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Another Serie A player that many people are familiar with, Zambo Anguissa. He played 90 minutes in this one for Cameroon. Obviously he's going to be on the ball. He had 77 touches, 1 shot, 1 clearance as well. He was dispossessed 3 times, though. That's very un-Anguissa-like. Also, 50% success rate on the dribble and the long balls, and tackles 1. So not the greatest performances from him in that aspect of the game, but he did win all of his aerial duels. He had 2 interceptions and 5 recoveries as well. So overall, a round and about good game for him. Again, not to the Anguissa level that we're used to, but still a good game nonetheless. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 in this one. Another Serie A player that did play that you may not be aware of, from Verona, Hongla. He played 68 minutes in this one. He was lively. 1 shot, 2 chances created, all on 43 touches of the ball. His dribbles and the ground duels weren't that great, but he was 100% from long balls and aerial duels. Defensively, he also had 3 clearances, 1 interception, and a recovery as well. I give Hongla a rating of 7 out of 10 for the Verona man. Cameroon did have another player in Ibosa from Udinese, but he did not play, so we won't give him a rating in this one. So let's move on to the next match. It's Uruguay against South Korea. 0-0 in that matchup. First for Uruguay, Vecino for Lazio played 78 minutes in this one. Had a shot at 53 touches on the ball. Defensively, 1 block, 3 interceptions, 7 recoveries. Pretty good defensively, honestly. He was also 100% from long balls in this one. So overall, he had a pretty good game, I thought. There's some areas that weren't so great, but I'm still going to give Matías Vecino 7 out of 10 in this game. Moving on to another Napoli player, Oliveira. He played 79 minutes in this game. Created 2 chances in this one. 75% passing accuracy, which is not bad. 75% on crosses. Was not dispossessed at any point in the match, which is good for him. He won all of his ground duels. Had an interception, 5 recoveries. And aerial duels, he was okay. He was 67% from his aerial duels. So Overall, a pretty solid game, honestly, from Oliveira from Napoli. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10 in this game. I was very impressed with that. We started with a Laziale. We're going to end with a Romanista. Vina came in. He only played 11 minutes in this game. 75% passing, 12 touches of the ball, 0% on crosses and aerial duels. Only won 50% of his tackles, and I think it was 100% on ground duels overall. I'm going to give him a rating of 6 out of 10 in his short stint in this one. All right, now we're moving on to South Korea and the Kims.
La Corea del Sud con Kim, Jung-Wan, Naso, Lin e Hwang.
Their only Serie A player, South Korea's that is Kim Min-jae, obviously from Napoli. He played all 90 minutes, 85% passing, 65 touches on the ball. He had a block, a clearance, 4 recoveries of the ball, won 75% of his aerial duels as well. Pretty solid game from Kim. We're going to give him a 7 out of 10 in this one. Moving over to Portugal versus Ghana. This game was very entertaining. Finished up 3-2. We'll get with the game-winning goal here in a second. Actually, let's just get to it right now because this is going to be the only player in the game from Serie A that actually played. And we're talking, of course, Rafa Leao of AC Milan. He came on as a substitute in this one. I was honestly shocked that he didn't get to start, but he came off as a super sub, and a super sub is what he was. 13 minutes in this game, and within the first couple minutes of entry, he scored a goal in a counterattack, ended up being the game-winning goal for Portugal. But it's a typical Rafa Leao goal. Coming on the left-hand side, wonderfully done by him. So he definitely got a goal in his 13 minutes. Passing-wise, 75% passing. One of his 2 shots was blocked. 17 touches. It's only 50% from the dribble, which is very uncharacteristic of Rafa Leao. He does take a lot of opportunities, so that does tend to be a lower number than most. He was dispossessed once, but he also recovered the ball back. He won something like 25% of his ground duels, which he's not really known for. But in his brief appearance, 13 minutes, he did get a goal. That's what he came on to do. Won them the game. I'm giving him a 7.5 out of 10 in this one. There was another Serie A player, but he did not play. Rui Patricio, the goalkeeper from Roma. He sat on the bench, and then you look over to Ghana. Ghana had 0 Serie A players. So that's a wrap of this game. We're not going to get too much in that one. We'll get into the last game, which involved Team Serie A. Brazil versus Serbia. The game ended up 2-0 for Brazil. Very entertaining game. We'll start first with the Brazilians, and it seemed like Team Juve in terms of the Brazilian representation in this one. First, we'll start with Danilo. Danilo played all 90 minutes on the right back spot. 1 shot, 84% passing, 94 touches in this one. He got a lot of touches of the ball. Crossing-wise, 24%, 25% passing or crossing accuracy. He was never dispossessed, though. That was an improvement compared to his Juventus time. From the long ball, he was an impressive 0% from long balls and did not complete one of those passes. He did have a clearance. He did have an interception. He did have 6 recoveries of the ball. And he was 100% from both ground and aerial duels. So overall, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 in this one. Moving on to his counterpart, actually the left back, also from Juventus, Alexandro, who's been, had a mostly decline with Juventus as of late, it seems like last couple of years. But he played all 90 minutes in this one, had an impressive shot that was pushed away by Milinkovic-Savic, who we'll get to later. He had a whopping 102 touches in this game. Alexandro was heavily involved, as was Danilo. Like Danilo, Alexandro 0% from crosses. That's kind of what we've seen, it seems like, with Juventus as of late. But he had 7 clearances, an interception, and 5 recoveries. Pretty good. He had it's something about the Brazilian team that he actually stepped up his game. If he can keep this form back with Juventus, they're going to be even more formidable than they already are. I was very impressed with Alexandro in this one, so I'm giving him a 7.5 out of 10. Now, the other Brazilian on their team is one of the best defenders in Serie A, Gleison Bremer. Unfortunately, he did not play because there are some really good defenders on Brazil. You got Thiago Silva and Marquinhos, so he didn't quite get the start in this one, but it is what it is, right? A plethora of talent at Brazil. Now, moving on to Serbia, which is now, I'm going to dub them Team Serie A with 11. I only have 11 fingers. 11 players at their disposal from Serie A. Wow, that's all I can say. First, we'll look at the Fiorentina man, Milinkovic, the defender. He played all 90 minutes in this one, had a shot on target. 88% passing on 72 touches of the ball. Long balls weren't that great, 33% accurate. Tackles won, something like 66%, 67% tackles won. But defensively is where he was stout. 2 blocks, 3 clearances, 4 interceptions, 6 recoveries of the ball, won 67% of his ground duels, 100% of his aerial duels. I mean, he had to be good because Brazil coming wave after wave, and Milinkovic really had to stand on his toes. He still wasn't, perfect, but was very impressive. All the amount of chances he had to, withstand. Did hold his ground for a good chunk of that game. But he did look shaky in the couple goals that did happen for Brazil. So that's going to peg down the score a little bit just for me. I'm going to give him a 6.5 out of 10 despite that monster effort defensively. Overall, it's still a little weak in his game. Not the type of player we grown to come accustomed to at Fiorentina. His counterpart at Fiorentina, Jovic, the attacker, Luka Jovic, did not play in this one. Looking at Juventus, Filip Kostic, a player who's been very pivotal for their success, also did not play in this one. But one of his teammates at Juventus did play, and Vlahovic. Now, Vlahovic you'd think would start in this one. He did not start over Mitrovic, but Vlahovic did come in relief for play 24 minutes. Only 50% passing in that time, was dispossessed, 2 recoveries of the ball, only touched the ball like 10 times. It wasn't very effective when he was in there. One of the better aspects of his game was that he was 67% one of his aerial duels. But I was very unimpressed with Vlahovic. I don't know if it was the limelight playing against Brazil. I don't know, but 5.5 out of 10 is the rating I'm going to give him in this one. Now, one of the better players for Serbia is Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, someone who we accustomed to be just a fantastic player. He played 90 minutes in this one, the whole game, 71% passing accuracy, so it wasn't that great from he felt a lot of pressure in this one. Only had 53 touches on this one, 50% from dribbles, 50% from long balls. He was dispossessed once, but he also had a block and a clearance in this game, including 5 recoveries. It was only 50-50 from the aerial, which you expect a big man like him to be 100% every time. Wasn't that great, actually, from the air. So I'm going to give him a 6.5 out of 10. I know he's one of the best players on that team, but that's 6.5 is all they could get. The team did not play well. Brazil was fantastic in this one. Really put Serbia on the back foot the entire game. So 6.5 was one of the better ratings for Serbia in my book. Now, man, I expected to start in this one from Sampdoria, Duricic. He did not play, so that was unfortunate for me. I was hoping to see him. There's plenty of other Serbians there that did play. Lukic of Torino, who's been fantastic for Torino. 65 minutes played in this one. 93% passing accuracy on only 37 touches. Pretty good. Long ball was decent, 67%. He had 2 clearances as well as 4 recoveries of the ball. But he only won 29% of his ground duels and committed 3 fouls in the process. So a little bit better than Vlahovic, right? Let me give him a rating of 6 out of 10 in this one. This is the second of 3 Torino players that's played in this one. Radonjic, he played 33 minutes in this one. He had 1 shot with 75% passing on 18 touches. Piss poor on crosses and dribbles. Absolutely got lambasted each time he tried to do any of those things. He did have a clearance and did have 3 recoveries. I'm going to say he's just slightly better than Vlahovic. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10 in this one. So you would think Sergej Milinkovic-Savic would be the best player in this one, but it was his brother Vanja Milinkovic-Savic, the goalkeeper from Torino. I said he'd have a big game in this one. He did have a big game despite the losing effort. Obviously played all 90 minutes. 7 huge saves in this one. Passing, 73% passing accuracy. The long passes were okay, I guess. 42% long balls, and had 42 touches in the game. But he had some big saves to make. He had made some huge saves in this game. Very commanding. Came out, punched the ball a lot. Helped organize the defense. He was impressive. I thought he would be impressive. He's been impressive in Serie A. I give him a 7.5 out of 10 in this one. By far my best score for Serbia. All right, moving on to players 10 and 11 for Serbia from Serie A. Both of them Verona players. First, Lazovic. Lazovic played 24 minutes, had a shot with 64% passing. Wasn't that great passing-wise. Long balls about the same. Accuracy. Ground duels 100% from that. So, defensively, I guess he was in that aspect, he was good. But overall, performance. I give him a 6 out of 10 in this one. And then Ilic from Verona, who's been lighting it up in Serie A. 33 minutes in this one. 95% passing accuracy is really good in that. He created a chance, had 23 touches of the ball, dispossessed once. He ended up getting an interception, though. He did get 3 recoveries. Won all of his aerial duels. So I'm going to give him a 6.5 out of 10. So that's Team Serie A, the new Team Serie A from Serbia. 11 players from Serie A. And Poland and Serbia, man, really representing Serie A in this one. But yeah, that's match day 5. Let us know what you think in the comments. To keep up with all your Serie A action in the World Cup, make sure you watch this video right here. We'll catch you on the next one.